Hi, my name is Jen, and today I wanted to review this book, His Needs, Her Needs. So let's get started. Overall, I do recommend this book. I think it's a great conversation starter for couples, and I think it has some really good points. It is not gospel truth in my opinion though, but let's dive in and I'll share more. So this book is written by Willard Harley, and he's a therapist, and this book is written kind of from his experience in counseling and then doing some different workshops. So some of the points that he covers in this book are just making sure that your communication and your efforts are effective. He's found that a lot of people really are trying to show that they love and care for their partner, but it's just not coming across to the partner. He has a concept called the love bank, and he uses this as a way to really help people understand the loving relationship and how you can have positive and negative interactions and how that affects how somebody feels about you. And so if you put in lots of deposits or positive experiences into the relationship, your relationship will do much better. If you have some negative interactions and you have a lot of those, then those are withdrawals, and then the relationship is not going to be doing as well. So I think that's a really helpful analogy. The main points from the book, as you can tell from the title, are addressing 10 different needs that people typically have in a relationship that help them to stay in love. 5 of them are commonly ranked higher for women, 5 of them are commonly ranked higher for men, and so that's where you get the title of this book. The 5 needs for women are affection, intimate conversation, honesty and openness, financial support, and family commitment. And then the 5 needs for men that he's found are sexual fulfillment, recreational companionship, physical attractiveness, domestic support, and then admiration. So since I recommend this book, there are quite a few pros. I think that it's very well written. It's very easy to read. It's not a super thick book or anything like that. The chapters are pretty short, and the content is just very digestible, I think. Additionally, I think he provides a lot of great exercises, examples. He really tries to come up with specific examples in each chapter, so that way you are at least a little bit better able to apply and make improvements in the specific needs. I think it's also just a great resource to facilitate conversation between couples. What my husband and I did was we actually read this when we were dating. This was one of the first few books we read very early in our relationship, and it really was helpful to be able to go through and read the book together, even though at the time we were geographically separated. We were able to just read the chapter and then talk to each other about it and say exactly where we were on that scale or on that issue, and we were able to kind of rank the needs for ourselves. So that was really helpful for us. In the back of the book, he has a couple other resources and stuff, so that way you can really identify your specific needs for you and then also for your partner, so that way you're not having to guess. He also addresses in the book that it's really important to not only know about the needs of your partner, but to also really form a plan and follow through with that plan. So just simply knowing about something is not enough. You really need to follow up with action. One other final pro that I really appreciate about this book is that he encourages couples to work together to see that the needs of each partner is being met. But he also challenges each partner to take responsibility for meeting their own needs. So when he's talking about the need of a husband, he really will give a lot of tips and guidance to help the husband communicate clearly what it is that he wants and needs, so that way his needs can be met effectively. And similarly, if he's talking to the wife or the other partner. So I like that he encourages both people to work together, but also to take responsibility for their actions, their wants, and their needs. There are a couple of cons. The first is that this is not research-based. It's just based on his practice and limited demographics. And so I think that is a bit of a weakness. I would have appreciated it a little bit more if he had more research and more studies that even he referenced just to support his findings and his views. Another con is that a lot of his views are very traditional, specifically with sex and gender roles, so that is something to keep in mind. He does offer a few disclaimers on page 19 at the top of the page. He does offer a disclaimer about couples and how each couple is unique and each person in the couple is unique. So while he's found that generally or on average people fall into different categories or other things like that, that's not always the case for each couple. And so you really want to make sure that you're tailoring all of this information to you as an individual and not the averages. So make sure that as you're going through this, you're really finding out what your unique needs are and the unique needs of your partner. So that's just something to keep in mind. So overall, I do recommend this book. I think it's a great resource for couples to use. I think this is a really great preventative resource to really help couples who are dating get started on kind of the right foot and with a really good foundation by really knowing what your needs are and working together and kind of building those habits before you get married. So that way the transition into marriage and the early years of marriage and even later years of marriage, you have good habits established. I also think it's really helpful for dating couples because it really helps to point out that a lot of work needs to go into a marriage. And so if you can start that out when you're dating and just keep that momentum and kind of energy going, then that will be much better. I think that this is a great resource for married couples as well, as you can still learn more about your partner and gain a lot of the other benefits from this book. I would just recommend also keeping in mind that there may be some habits or some other things that have already been established that may require some additional work. So while I think this will provide a lot of benefit for your relationship, you may have to look at some other books or get some other resources or even seek professional help even still. All right, so those are my thoughts on His Needs, Her Needs. If you haven't read it, I definitely recommend reading it. It's a really nice, easy read, and I think it does have a lot of really good points to it. If you'd like to see any of the other book reviews that I've done, I did one on the 5 love languages. I'll have that linked down below. I also did a book review on Marie Kondo's The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. That'll also be linked down below. And I've also created a playlist for my book reviews, so you can also check there to see those. My next book that I'll be doing is John Gottman's And Baby Makes 3. Please stay tuned for that. That will be out in the next week or so. If you do end up reading this book, please let me know what you think about it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I hope that you have a great day. Bye.